My friends, a blessing explosion is about to happen in your life. Not because of chance, not because of luck, but because life itself responds to the hidden conversations of your heart. What you carry in imagination has been growing in silence. Like a seed beneath the soil, you may not see it yet, but it is alive, it is real, and it is already moving toward you. Many confuse delay with denial. They think that because nothing has yet appeared, nothing is happening. But understand this, before the dawn breaks, the sky is at its darkest. Before blessings pour in, there is often a shaking, a rearranging, a breaking down of the old. Do not mistake endings for punishment. They are simply the clearing away of what no longer belongs to make room for the new. Your blessing explosion begins the moment you accept that your desire is already yours. Desire is not a random wish, it is a divine instruction. The very fact that you long for something is proof that it exists in the unseen. What you seek is seeking you. What you imagine with feeling is magnetized to you. Close your eyes for a moment and dare to feel what it would be like if your greatest blessing was here right now. Live in that state, not with effort, but with ease. Whisper to yourself in silence, it is done, it is mine, it is here. For the world does not respond to begging or struggling, but to the quiet confidence of one who already possesses what they desire. You may not know how it will come, or through whom, or by what path. That is not your work. Your only work is to remain faithful to the inner vision, the inner conversation. Hold it gently, like a treasure already received, and life itself will conspire to make it so. And when it comes, and it will not trickle in, it will explode. Blessings will unfold suddenly, abundantly, overflowing in ways you never planned. Doors will open without knocking. People will appear without searching. Opportunities will align without effort. So prepare yourself. Not in fear, but in faith. For a blessing explosion is not on its way, it is already here, moving toward you, waiting for the perfect moment to burst forth. Rest in this truth. What you desire is already done. The unseen is greater than the seen, because everything you now behold with your eyes was once invisible, existing only in thought, in imagination, in the quiet stillness of belief. What you call reality is simply the outpicturing of the invisible world you carry within yourself. The table, the house, the career, the relationship, the wealth. Each of these was first an idea, an inner image, a silent conception in the unseen realm. It may appear that circumstances shape your life, but in truth it is your unseen assumptions, the inner states you consistently occupy, that give birth to every condition you encounter. The world outside is but a mirror reflecting what you have already accepted within. When you look around and see limitation, lack, or struggle, it is tempting to believe that this is all there is. But the unseen is infinitely richer, infinitely greater, and far more powerful than what is currently visible. The visible is only evidence of what has already been imagined. It is not final, it is not permanent, it is not ultimate. It is simply the shadow of a deeper reality, the imaginal act. Just as a seed planted in the earth remains unseen until the moment it breaks the surface, so too do your inner visions remain invisible until they push through into form. If you fix your attention only upon what is seen, you are deceived by appearances, for the true power lies in the realm that eyes cannot yet witness. Every blessing you are waiting for has already been born in imagination. The unseen is the birthplace of all that is to come. To ignore this is to live as though shadows have substance and substance has none. To embrace it is to step into the true creative power that shapes worlds. When you imagine with feeling, you are entering the unseen workshop of creation. There, every image you hold with conviction begins to gather life, clothed with the energy of belief, waiting only for its appointed hour to appear. This is why you must not let the outer world dictate your inner world. The outer is always one step behind. It is the past made visible. Your present imagination is the seed of your future experience. What you persist in assuming, though unseen, is far stronger than any fact before your eyes. When you declare yourself blessed, prosperous, healed, or loved, even when evidence says otherwise, you are planting within the unseen a cause that must, by law, bring forth its corresponding effect. Consider this: the greatest forces that sustain your very life are unseen. You cannot see the air that fills your lungs, yet without it you could not take another step. You cannot see the electrical currents that power the lights in your home, yet without them you would be in darkness. You cannot see the roots of a tree, yet it is the unseen roots that make the tree stand tall and strong. So it is with blessings. You may not see them now, but they are the roots beneath your life, growing in silence, preparing to break through into visibility. The unseen does not respond to doubt or effort, but to acceptance. When you accept the reality of your desire in imagination, when you feel the joy of it as if it were already present, you are aligning yourself with the unseen greater world. That alignment is what compels circumstances, people, and opportunities to gather around you in perfect order. Do not ask how, for the how belongs to the unseen. Your only task is to remain faithful to the inner image, to live as though the blessing were already here. Life shifts before breakthroughs because the old must often fall away before the new can take root. Chaos, confusion, and endings are not signs of failure, but signs of preparation. What appears to be collapse is often the groundwork for an expansion far greater than you imagine. The life you are seeking, the blessings you are waiting for, cannot fit into the structures and patterns of the past. To receive something greater, the old order must be broken. Endings are not punishments, they are doorways. Chaos is not destruction, it is transition. Think of nature. Before spring blooms, winter strips the trees bare. Before new life rises, the earth rests in stillness. The seed must break apart before it can sprout. What looks like death is in truth the preparation for life. In the same way, the chaos you may be experiencing is not the end of your story. It is the breaking of the seed, the dissolving of what no longer serves, the necessary shift before the breakthrough. Many fear endings because they appear painful. A job lost, a relationship closed, a door shut. These moments feel like loss. Yet what if they are simply life rearranging itself for your blessing? What if the very things you are clinging to are too small for what is coming? Life knows when you have outgrown a season, even if you do not. Sometimes a door must close for your feet to move. Sometimes a storm must come to clear the path. Breakthroughs rarely come in silence and comfort. They come in the midst of shaking, when old beliefs are questioned, when the structures you relied on crumble. This is because life does not build upon foundations that cannot hold the weight of your blessing. The blessing requires space, requires room, requires a new foundation. You cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. You cannot hold the vastness of the future with the same hands that cling tightly to the past. When chaos visits your life, it is not the enemy, it is the sign that something greater is on its way. Instead of resisting the change, welcome it. See it as a cleansing, a preparation, a holy disruption. For every ending carries within it the seed of a beginning. The very moment you feel stripped bare may be the moment you are being prepared to blossom. Breakthroughs are not gradual. They are sudden, they are shifts, they are explosions of blessing. But before the suddenness of the blessing comes the unease of change. This is why you must hold faith when life appears uncertain. Do not judge the process by the moment. What feels like chaos now will later reveal itself as perfect alignment. What feels like loss now will prove itself to be a divine exchange. Consider the times in your life when you thought all was lost, yet later realized it was the very thing that led you to something greater. The job you lost may have been the doorway to the career of your dreams. The relationship that ended may have prepared your heart for true love. The opportunity that slipped away may have been protection, saving you for something far better. With every ending, a blessing was being prepared. You must train yourself to see beyond appearances. Do not fear the shaking. Do not cling to what is leaving. Trust that what departs is no longer in harmony with your destiny. Trust that what feels like chaos is in truth the rearranging of life in your favor. Trust that behind the closing of doors, there is a greater opening waiting. Your inner conversation creates your world because what you whisper to yourself in silence carries more power than the loudest words you ever speak aloud. Every moment, whether you are aware of it or not, you are engaged in a dialogue with yourself. This inner dialogue is not idle, it is creative, it shapes your beliefs, it molds your emotions, and eventually it manifests as the circumstances of your life. The thoughts you repeat, the assumptions you hold, and the silent declarations you make in the secret place of your mind are the seeds of your reality. If you carefully observe yourself, you will notice that the majority of your day is spent in thought. You may be thinking about what has happened, imagining what could happen, replaying conversations, or anticipating the future. These streams of thought are not harmless musings. They are instructions to life. They form the script by which the stage of your world is set. Your inner conversations are not hidden from the creative law of the universe. What you consistently repeat becomes the pattern that must be expressed. When you say within yourself, I am not enough, I always struggle, or nothing ever works out for me, you are impressing upon the unseen the very reality you dread. These inner confessions create outer confirmations. Life mirrors what you have been saying in silence. On the other hand, when you dare to declare within, I am blessed, everything is working out for me, I am chosen for abundance, you are aligning yourself with a higher state, and the outer world cannot help but reflect it back to you. The outer follows the inner just as surely as shadow follows light. It is not the fleeting thought that holds power, but the repeated one. Just as water carves stone through persistence, so too does repeated inner speech carve the shape of your reality. The conversation you entertain most often becomes the atmosphere you live in. This is why two people can walk through the same world, yet experience it entirely differently. One speaks within themselves words of defeat and lives surrounded by struggle. Another speaks within words of confidence and gratitude, and their life blossoms with opportunities. The difference is not in the world itself, but in the conversation they carry within. You must therefore become the master of your inner dialogue. Guard it, shape it, and deliberately choose the words you entertain. The secret is not to fight the negative thought, but to replace it. Instead of dwelling on lack, speak abundance. Instead of rehearsing failure, rehearse victory. Instead of replaying rejection, replay acceptance and love. Every time you shift your inner dialogue, you are shifting your reality at its root. Imagine a person who constantly says within, I am always overlooked. That hidden confession will lead them to act timidly, to shrink in opportunities, and even when blessings appear, they will not recognize them. Their world bends to fulfill their inner speech. Yet, if that same person begins to affirm silently, I am valued, I am seen, I am worthy, their posture changes, their actions align with confidence, and the world reflects their new state. Nothing in the outer truly shifted until something in the inner did. This is why it is said that life and death are in the power of the tongue, but the greatest tongue is the one that speaks in silence. It is not what you tell others about yourself, it is what you continually tell yourself. You may say aloud, I am fine, yet if within you whisper, I am broken, life responds to the inner, not the outer. The universe listens to your silence more than to your words. Do not underestimate the creative force of imagination joined with inner conversation. If you speak blessings upon yourself in the stillness of your mind, if you persist in affirming the good you desire, life will bend to make it visible. Your world is an echo of your inner dialogue. Change the echo by changing the source. So pay attention to what you say when no one is listening, for the silent script is writing your destiny. Every blessing, every breakthrough, every dream fulfilled begins with a conversation within. Choose words of life, words of faith, words of abundance, and repeat them until they become your natural state. Then watch as your world rearranges itself to agree with the dialogue you have chosen. Desires are divine instructions, for nothing you long for is random, nothing you deeply yearn for is without purpose. The very fact that a desire arises in your heart is evidence that it already exists for you in the unseen. Desire is not a cruel trick to taunt you with what you cannot have. It is guidance, a message, a sacred whisper pointing you toward the life that is already yours. When you feel the pull of a dream, it is life itself telling you, this belongs to you, come claim it. You never desire what is impossible. You may imagine it to be far away, difficult, or unlikely, but if it is within you, it is for you. Desires are like inner compasses. They point toward the experiences you are meant to claim. A seed cannot long to become anything but the tree it already contains within itself. In the same way, your desires are the seeds of what you are destined to become. The dream planted within you is the blueprint of a future already prepared. Many dismiss their desires as fantasies or distractions. They silence them, bury them, or call them foolish. Yet the truth is that your greatest desires are the purest revelations of your higher self. They are not accidents. They are instructions. To deny them is to deny your own growth. To follow them is to align with the path written for you before you even knew it existed. When you feel the desire for love, it is not simply a wish. It is evidence that love is already yours in the unseen, waiting for your acceptance. When you long for abundance, it is not greed. It is the pull toward the life of freedom and expansion you were meant to live. When you feel drawn to create, to travel, to build, to heal, to teach, those desires are not random sparks. They are reminders of the role you are here to fulfill. The unseen plants these longings in you to draw you forward. The reason so many suffer is because they misinterpret desire. They think desire means lack, when in truth desire is proof of possession. You cannot long for what does not exist. You cannot hunger for a feast that is not already prepared. If the desire is alive within you, then its fulfillment is alive for you as well. Your role is not to question whether it can happen, but to accept that it already has happened in the unseen, and to allow yourself to move in faith toward it. Think of a child who desires to run. Within that desire is the certainty that the ability to walk already exists, even if it has not yet been expressed. The desire draws forth the potential. The same is true for you. Every longing within you is pulling from a potential that already exists. The desire itself is the sign that it is yours. So how do you respond to these divine instructions? By honoring them, by claiming them, by stepping into the state of their fulfillment in imagination. When you imagine yourself already in possession of what you desire, you are saying yes to the divine message. You are aligning with the unseen and allowing it to take form. The greatest error is to treat desire as a torment, something to resist or suppress. Instead, treat it as sacred guidance. Listen to it, follow it, live in the feeling of its fulfillment. Rest in the feeling of fulfillment, for the moment you assume the wish fulfilled, life begins to rearrange itself in ways you cannot see or control. The power is not in struggling nor in constant striving, but in resting in the knowing that what you desire is already yours. The unseen response, not to desperation, but to calm conviction. The more you rest in the state of already having, the faster the outer world conforms to that inner acceptance. When you desire something, your natural impulse is often to ask, how will this happen? And immediately the mind begins to calculate, worry, and wrestle with possibilities. Yet this effort is unnecessary, for the how belongs to life, not to you. Your only task is to assume the end, to step into the feeling of already having what you want, and to let life unfold in its perfect order. The universe does not require your anxiety, only your acceptance. Resting in the wish fulfilled means living as though the desire is no longer a question but a reality. You feel it in your body, you think from it rather than of it, and you move through your days with a quiet assurance that it is done. Just as someone who has received good news carries a different energy, so too do you carry the energy of your fulfillment. Even if it has not yet appeared outwardly, this invisible state is the magnet that draws all things necessary into alignment. When you rest in fulfillment, you release resistance. Resistance is the tension that says it is not here yet. Rest is the ease that says it is already done. Imagine planting a seed in the ground and then digging it up each day to check if it has grown. That impatience would kill the seed. In the same way, constantly worrying, doubting, or forcing blocks the natural flow of your blessing. But if you plant the seed and trust the soil, trusting that life knows how to bring forth fruit, then in due time it will appear. Rest is trust. Rest is faith. Rest is the fertile ground where fulfillment grows. Assuming the wish fulfilled is not pretending or lying to yourself. It is aligning with truth at a deeper level. Everything created begins first in imagination. When you dare to feel as though your desire is already here, you are not imagining something false. You are entering the reality that already exists in the unseen. The unseen is greater than the seen, and by assuming fulfillment, you are choosing to live from that higher reality until the outer world catches up. Consider the difference between hoping and assuming. Hope says, I wish this could happen one day. Assumption says, it has already happened, and I now live from it. Hope keeps the blessing in the future always out of reach. Assumption brings it into the now, making it real within you. And once it is real within, the outer must follow. Rest is powerful because it silences the frantic noise of doubt. When you rest in fulfillment, you do not chase, you do not beg, you do not force. You simply know. This knowing creates a stillness that allows life to do its work. You no longer interfere with the process. You no longer contradict your desire with words of lack. You simply remain in the state of completion. And in this state, blessings unfold effortlessly. Think of how easily a child believes. If you tell a child that a gift is waiting for them, they do not doubt, they do not demand proof. They simply rest in the joy of knowing it is theirs. Their excitement is not anxiety, it is trust. That is the same trust you must carry with your desires. Assume the gift is already given and live in the joy of it. Blessings arrive suddenly, for life does not always move according to your clock or your careful planning. The greatest shifts often come in moments when you least expect, not because they were absent before, but because they were building quietly in the unseen until the perfect time of release. What looks like an overnight change is usually the result of unseen forces working for you in silence. When the moment comes, it feels sudden, but it has been preparing all along. Think of the seed buried in the ground. For weeks or months, it lies hidden beneath the soil, unseen to the eye. Nothing appears to be happening, and the impatient gardener may think the seed has failed. Yet beneath the surface, life is stirring. Roots are forming, strength is building. Then one day, without warning, the first green shoot breaks through the earth. To the eye it is sudden, but in truth it has been happening all along. To the eye it is sudden, but in truth it has been happening all along. So it is with blessings. They do not arrive out of nowhere. They arrive from the unseen realm that has been arranging, aligning, and preparing on your behalf. Many people lose heart because they mistake silence for absence. They think that because nothing has appeared, nothing is happening. But silence is not denial, it is preparation. A blessing explosion often comes in disguise, hidden behind delays, challenges, or even disappointments. You may believe nothing is moving, yet behind the curtain of your awareness, everything is moving in perfect order. The universe works in secret until the right moment, and when that moment comes, the shift is swift and undeniable. This is why you must never give up just before the breakthrough. The darkest hour of the night is just before the dawn, and the greatest chaos often precedes the greatest blessing. Life knows the exact time when the door must open, when the opportunity must appear, when the answer must arrive. If it came too soon, you would not be ready. If it came too late, it would miss its purpose. But when it comes, it is always right on time. Blessings have a way of catching you by surprise. You may walk through seasons of waiting, seasons of preparation, even seasons of loss, and then suddenly everything changes. A meeting, a phone call, a chance encounter, a shift in circumstance. These simple moments can alter the entire direction of your life. What you prayed for, what you imagined, what you assumed within yourself, breaks into visibility with power, and it always seems sudden, as though it appeared out of nowhere, yet in truth, it was always yours, simply waiting for its moment. This suddenness is not to startle you, but to remind you that blessings are not bound by your effort or your timeline. They belong to a higher order, a divine timing. When you rest in the assurance of fulfillment, you free yourself from impatience, and then the blessing appears in its perfect hour. The child may ask endlessly when the gift will come, but when it arrives, the joy is so great that the waiting is forgotten. So it is with life. When the blessing appears, it redeems every moment of delay. Consider how often the turning points in life come without warning. You meet someone who changes your path. You receive news that alters your destiny. An opportunity comes when you are about to give up. These moments feel sudden because they are the visible breaking through of the invisible. What you imagined, affirmed, and assumed within yourself could no longer remain hidden. The unseen had to become seen. Blessings arise suddenly because life honors faith, not worry. When you assume the state of already having, you may walk through days that look unchanged, yet at any moment the outer must shift to match the inner. That shift is rarely gradual, it is often a leap. One day you are waiting, the next day you are celebrating. One season you are sowing, the next season you are reaping. Therefore, do not be discouraged by what seems still or delayed. The very stillness may be the sign that the blessing is ripening, preparing to burst forth. And when it comes, it will not trickle in. It will overflow. Doors will swing wide. paths will open clear, and what once seemed impossible will unfold naturally. The greatest shifts in your life are not waiting for your timing. They are waiting for your readiness. And when you are aligned, they appear with power and speed. And so, my friends, remember this truth. Every desire within you is not a dream of the impossible, but a whisper of what already belongs to you. Life may shake before it settles. It may close doors before it opens greater ones. But the unseen is always working on your behalf. Your inner conversation is the architect of your reality. Your desires are divine instructions. And when you rest in the fulfillment of them, the outer world cannot resist but to align. And when it happens, it will not be small, it will not be partial, it will be sudden, overflowing, and undeniable. A blessing explosion is not coming from outside, it is rising from within you. Live in faith, walk in conviction, and prepare your heart, because your moment is closer than you think. Thank you for sharing this moment with me, and may you walk forward knowing with certainty that your blessing explosion is already here.
There are moments in life when words are not just communication, they are revelations. They reveal the core of the person speaking them. If you've ever heard someone say any of these 6 phrases, take a moment, step back, and reconsider their place in your life. Because these words are not merely statements, they are warnings wrapped in casual conversation. What this really means is your feelings make me uncomfortable, so I'll diminish them to protect my comfort. Pay attention to this phrase. It's not sensitivity that's the problem, it's their inability to respect your emotional truth. Silence is a powerful response to anyone who invalidates how you feel. These words don't reflect gratitude, they reflect entitlement. They imply that your worth is conditional, tethered to their presence. But remember this, you bring value simply by being you. If someone uses their existence as leverage, it's time to walk away. This is an assault on your self-esteem. It's a seed of doubt planted to keep you from seeing your own light. Let me tell you, your worth is not defined by someone's ability or inability to put up with you. Leave this kind of thinking behind. This phrase is often used to shut down critical thinking or intuition. It's not overthinking if your instincts are screaming for attention. Your mind processes what your heart senses. Trust it. If someone can't engage with your concerns, they don't deserve your trust. The non-apology. It's not about them owning their part. It's about shifting the burden of their actions onto you. Accountability is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship. Without it, there's no foundation to build on. This phrase is a refusal to evolve. It's a defense mechanism used to justify behaviors that hurt, manipulate, or stagnate. Growth is a choice, and refusing to choose it is a loud declaration that their comfort matters more than the relationship. So what do you do when you hear these words? You don't argue, you don't beg, you don't try to change them. You leave silently, firmly, and with your dignity intact. Walking away isn't weakness, it's strength. It's choosing your peace over their chaos. It's prioritizing your growth over their stagnation. And it's refusing to be fooled by words that are designed to control or diminish you. Silence is often the most powerful statement you can make. It doesn't just speak, it roars. And in that roar is your freedom. When someone says you're too sensitive, it might appear as a casual observation or even an attempt to offer constructive feedback. But beneath those words lies a deeper dismissal. It's not merely a comment about your feelings, it's a rejection of them. What this phrase truly communicates is that your emotions are inconvenient or uncomfortable for the person saying it. Instead of acknowledging your experience, they choose to diminish it, deflecting their responsibility to understand or empathize. Being told you're too sensitive often feels like being labeled as a problem. It can make you question your own emotional responses. Am I overreacting? Should I suppress how I feel to avoid being judged? These questions, while natural, point to the insidious effect of such dismissive language. It plants doubt about your worth and the validity of your emotions. Over time, this can lead to a damaging cycle where you second-guess yourself, minimizing your feelings to keep the peace, even when it comes at the cost of your own emotional well-being. But let's pause here for a moment and consider what sensitivity truly is. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It's a form of awareness, a heightened ability to feel and perceive. Sensitive people often pick up on nuances that others miss. They are attuned to changes in tone, body language, and the undercurrents of a conversation. Their depth of feeling allows them to experience life more vividly, both its joys and its pains. When someone dismisses this sensitivity, they are not merely brushing aside your feelings, they are devaluing a fundamental part of who you are. The phrase "you're too sensitive" shifts the narrative. Instead of addressing the issue at hand, it puts the spotlight on you, making your feelings the problem, rather than the situation or behavior that triggered them. This deflection can be especially damaging in close relationships where trust and mutual respect should be the foundation. Imagine expressing discomfort about something that was said or done, only to be met with this phrase. It doesn't resolve the conflict, it shuts it down. It signals that your emotions are unwelcome, and by extension, so is your voice. This kind of dismissal often reflects more about the person saying it than about you. They might lack the emotional capacity or willingness to engage with your feelings. They might be uncomfortable with vulnerability, either their own or someone else's. By labeling you as too sensitive, they shield themselves from the effort of introspection or accountability. It becomes easier for them to invalidate your emotions than to face their own discomfort. Understanding this doesn't necessarily make the sting of those words any less sharp. The real challenge lies in how you respond, not just to the person, but to yourself. When confronted with such dismissal, resist the urge to shrink or apologize for your emotions. Instead, remind yourself that your feelings are valid. They are an integral part of your humanity. Sensitivity is not something to be fixed, it's something to be embraced and protected. In moments when your sensitivity is called into question, consider the source. Is this person someone who consistently values and respects your emotions, or are they someone who habitually invalidates them? Understanding the context can help you determine whether the comment was a lapse in empathy or a pattern of disregard. In cases where the latter is true, it might be necessary to reevaluate the relationship or establish firmer boundaries to safeguard your emotional health. When honored, can be a gift. It allows you to connect deeply with others, to experience compassion, and to navigate the world with an acute sense of awareness. Don't let someone's inability to handle your emotions convince you that they are a burden. You are not too sensitive, you are exactly as you are meant to be, a person capable of feeling deeply in a world that often tries to numb itself. So the next time someone tells you you're too sensitive, pause and reflect on the truth of the situation. Are you reacting strongly because the moment calls for it? Are your feelings an authentic response to being disrespected, ignored, or hurt? If the answer is yes, stand firm in your emotions. You don't need to defend your sensitivity, you need to honor it. And if someone continues to diminish your feelings, it might be time to walk away, not because you're too sensitive, but because they're too unwilling to understand. When someone says, "You're lucky to have me," it can initially sound like a compliment, as if they are affirming their value in your life. But if you pause and examine the statement more closely, it reveals something far more troubling. This phrase often stems not from a place of mutual respect or love, but from arrogance and a desire to exert control. It's a manipulative tactic designed to elevate their importance while subtly diminishing yours. At its core, this statement isn't about gratitude or appreciation, it's about creating an imbalance. It suggests that the relationship is a one-sided favor they are doing for you, rather than a mutual connection built on shared effort and respect. By framing themselves as indispensable, they position you as dependent, fostering a dynamic where you may feel obligated to tolerate their behavior, even if it's hurtful or dismissive. The message is clear: without them, you would somehow be less, and that belief is both false and harmful. The phrase "you're lucky to have me" thrives on undermining self-worth. When repeated over time, it can make you doubt your own value. You may start to believe that they are indeed doing you a favor by staying, that you're not deserving of their attention or affection, or that finding someone else who cares for you in the same way would be impossible. This erosion of confidence is deliberate. It keeps you tethered to the relationship, hesitant to assert your needs or set boundaries for fear of losing them. This type of manipulation often surfaces in subtle ways. It might come after you voice a concern or express dissatisfaction with their behavior. Instead of addressing your feelings, they respond with this phrase, shifting the focus away from their actions and onto your supposed good fortune in having them in your life. It's a deflection away to avoid accountability by making you feel like the one who's being unreasonable. They may frame their presence as a gift, but true gifts don't come with strings attached or conditions meant to control. The irony, of course, is that a healthy relationship is never about luck. It's about mutual effort, shared respect, and an understanding that both individuals bring value to the connection. No one person should hold the power to define the other's worth. When someone claims you're lucky to have them, They're often ignoring the countless ways you contribute to the relationship. They overlook your kindness, your support, your love, all the things that make you an equally vital part of the bond. This phrase is their way of skewing the narrative to serve their ego, not the truth. Responding to such a statement requires clarity and strength. It's important to recognize that your value doesn't hinge on their presence. You were whole and deserving long before they came into your life, and you will remain so regardless of their opinion. If someone genuinely values you, they won't need to remind you of your luck. Their actions and words will reflect appreciation without condescension. Mutual respect doesn't need to be asserted through arrogance. It flourishes through humility and acknowledgement of each other's worth. When confronted with this phrase, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, is this person genuinely contributing to my happiness and growth, or are they using this sentiment to keep me small and dependent? Healthy relationships empower both individuals. They don't rely on tactics that create imbalance or fear. If their words consistently make you feel lesser, it may be a sign that the relationship is built on control rather than love. You are not lucky to be tolerated, manipulated, or diminished. You are deserving of a connection that celebrates you for who you are without conditions or condescension. Anyone who tries to convince you otherwise is not a partner but an anchor, weighing you down to serve their need for dominance. Walking away from such dynamics is not a loss. It's a reclaiming of your worth and freedom. You are not lucky to have someone who doesn't honor your value. They are fortunate if you choose to stay. And never forget, that choice is always yours. When someone says no one else will put up with you, it is more than just a hurtful comment. It is a calculated tactic aimed at eroding your self-worth and keeping you tethered to a relationship that is likely imbalanced or unhealthy. On the surface, it may sound like a blunt observation, but beneath it lies a deeper intention to make you doubt your value, your desirability, and your capacity to build meaningful connections outside of this relationship. It's a manipulation tool disguised as honesty, wielded to foster dependency and control. At its core, this statement thrives on insecurity, not necessarily yours to begin with, but theirs. People who use this phrase often fear losing the control they hold over you. By making you question your ability to be accepted, loved, or valued by others, they aim to create a narrative in which they are your only option. This isolates you emotionally, leading you to feel trapped and powerless, as though their presence in your life is the only thing keeping you from loneliness. The phrase, "no one else will put up with you," is not only an attack on your self-esteem, but also an implicit dismissal of your individuality. It reduces your unique qualities, quirks, and even your struggles to something unbearable or unworthy of understanding. It suggests that your imperfections make you unlovable, that they are doing you a favor by staying, and that you should be grateful for their tolerance. This shifts the dynamic of the relationship, putting you in a position where you feel indebted to them for simply being there. Over time, this can condition you to accept less than you deserve, to settle for mistreatment, or to stay silent when your needs are unmet. The danger of this tactic lies in its ability to create a cycle of self-doubt. Once you start believing that no one else would value you, it becomes harder to imagine leaving. You may start to internalize the idea that you are flawed or unworthy, which can make the thought of seeking support, love, or companionship elsewhere feel daunting, if not impossible. This emotional isolation is precisely what the manipulator intends. It ensures that their power over you remains intact. But the truth is, no one is beyond love or understanding. Everyone has their unique challenges, their strengths, and their flaws, and these do not make anyone unworthy of connection. Relationships are meant to be spaces of mutual growth, understanding, and respect, not prisons built on fear and dependency. Someone who genuinely values you will never use your vulnerabilities as weapons or make you feel like a burden for being yourself. Instead, they will encourage your growth, celebrate your individuality, and stand by you through challenges without resorting to manipulation. It's important to recognize this tactic for what it is: a projection of the other person's insecurities. Their need to diminish your self-worth often stems from their fear of inadequacy or their inability to foster a relationship based on equality. Rather than addressing their own shortcomings, they choose to focus on your perceived flaws, amplifying them to maintain a sense of control. Understanding this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help you see that their words are not a reflection of your value, they are a reflection of their fears. If you find yourself on the receiving end of this phrase, it's essential to challenge its validity. Reflect on the relationships in your life, friends, family, or colleagues who appreciate you for who you are. Think about the qualities you bring to the table: your kindness, your resilience, your authenticity. These are not traits to be dismissed or belittled. They are the foundation of your worth. Remind yourself that love and connection are not conditional upon perfection, and the right people in your life will embrace you fully, not put up with you. Leaving a relationship where such tactics are used can be daunting, especially if your confidence has been undermined. But walking away is not just an act of courage, it's an affirmation of your value. You deserve to be in relationships that uplift you, not ones that trap you in cycles of self-doubt. No one has the right to make you feel unworthy of love or acceptance. The journey to reclaiming your self-worth begins with recognizing the manipulation, rejecting its narrative, and embracing the truth you are enough, just as you are, and you are deserving of relationships built on respect, kindness, and equality. When someone says you're overthinking it, it may seem like an attempt to calm you down or encourage simplicity, but often it carries a far more dismissive undertone. At its worst, this phrase is a subtle weapon used to undermine your instincts, invalidate your concerns, and plant seeds of self-doubt. It shifts the focus from the issue at hand to your thought process, implying that your perspective is flawed, exaggerated, or unwarranted. While overthinking can genuinely be a challenge for some, this statement, when used tactically, is more about silencing you than supporting you. At its core, your overthinking it is a minimization of your internal process. It discounts the time, care, and effort you've invested in analyzing a situation, instead framing your thoughtfulness as a weakness or an annoyance. It suggests that your observations are unimportant, or that you are blowing things out of proportion, regardless of whether your concerns are valid. This dismissal can be especially damaging in situations where you're grappling with uncertainty or trying to make sense of complex emotions or experiences. The phrase also has a way of undermining trust in yourself. When someone tells you that you're overthinking, it implies that your instincts are unreliable or that your ability to assess a situation is inherently flawed. Over time, hearing this can lead you to question your own judgment, even in situations where your intuition is guiding you correctly. Instead of feeling empowered to act or speak up, you might begin to second-guess yourself, fearing that you're being irrational or overly analytical. This tactic is often used to sidestep accountability. When you raise a valid concern or observation, hearing you're overthinking it redirects the attention away from the actual issue and places the blame on you for overanalyzing. It creates a convenient way for the other person to avoid addressing your concerns while simultaneously making you feel like you're the problem. This deflection can be particularly harmful in relationships as it prevents open communication and fosters an environment where your feelings and perceptions are consistently dismissed. This phrase can mask an underlying power dynamic. By telling you that you're overthinking, the other person positions themselves as the voice of reason, implying that they have a clearer or more accurate understanding of the situation. This subtly reinforces a hierarchy where their perspective is valid and yours is not. In extreme cases, this dynamic can evolve into emotional manipulation, where you are continually made to feel small, irrational, or overly emotional. Not all instances of this phrase come from a place of malice. Sometimes people genuinely believe they are helping by urging you to simplify your thoughts or look at the bigger picture. But even when well-intentioned, this statement often fails to offer meaningful support. It brushes past the nuances of your experience, leaving you feeling unheard and dismissed rather than validated and reassured. So how do you respond when someone says you're overthinking it? First, take a moment to pause and assess the situation. Are you truly caught in a loop of excessive analysis? Or are your concerns legitimate and worth exploring further? Reflect on whether the person making this comment has a pattern of dismissing your thoughts, or if this instance is an exception. Trusting yourself in this process is key. Your intuition and instincts exist for a reason, and they often provide valuable insights that deserve to be considered. If the comment feels dismissive or invalidating, it's important to assert your feelings. Calmly explain why the issue matters to you and express that you'd like your concerns to be heard without being dismissed as overthinking. For example, you might say, I understand you think I'm overthinking, but this is something that feels important to me, and I'd appreciate it if we could discuss it further. This approach redirects the focus back to the topic at hand while reinforcing your right to voice your thoughts. It's also crucial to surround yourself with people who respect and value your perspective. In healthy relationships, your instincts and concerns are not minimized, but rather acknowledged and explored. Those who genuinely care about you will work to understand your viewpoint, even if they don't entirely agree with it. They won't dismiss your thoughts as overthinking. Instead, they will seek to understand the root of your concerns and collaborate with you to address them. The phrase "you're overthinking it" often says more about the person who uses it than it does about you. It reflects their unwillingness or inability to engage with the depth of your thoughts or emotions. Your ability to think critically, analyze situations, and trust your instincts is a strength, not a flaw. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Stay confident in your ability to process the world around you, and remember that your thoughts and feelings are valid, even when others try to diminish them. "I'm sorry you feel that way" is a phrase that carries the veneer of an apology but lacks genuine accountability. On the surface, it might sound like an acknowledgement of your emotions, but a closer examination reveals its deflective nature. Rather than addressing the core issue or taking responsibility for the action that caused harm, this statement shifts the focus onto your feelings as though they are the problem. It's a subtle yet powerful way to avoid blame, invalidate your experience, and maintain control of the narrative. What makes this phrase particularly frustrating is its ambiguity. Unlike a direct apology, which acknowledges a specific wrongdoing, "I'm sorry you feel that way" centers on your emotional response rather than the action that triggered it. For instance, if you confront someone about hurtful behavior and they respond with this phrase, they are essentially sidestepping their role in the situation. Instead of saying, "I'm sorry I hurt you" or "I'm sorry for what I said," they imply that your feelings are an unfortunate reaction to something they see as neutral or justified. The statement also subtly absolves the person of responsibility. By framing the issue as your emotional response rather than their behavior, they shift the blame onto you. It creates a dynamic where you're left defending your feelings instead of discussing the original issue. This tactic can make you second-guess yourself, wondering if you're overreacting or being unreasonable. Over time, repeated exposure to this kind of deflection can erode your confidence in your own perceptions and experiences. "I'm sorry you feel that way" can feel dismissive. It lacks empathy and conveys an unwillingness to engage with your perspective. A genuine apology seeks to bridge the gap between two people by acknowledging harm, expressing remorse, and offering a path toward resolution. This phrase, however, often does the opposite. It closes the door on meaningful dialogue and signals that the person isn't interested in understanding or addressing the root of the issue. In many cases, this type of apology is used as a defense mechanism. The person saying it might be uncomfortable with vulnerability, accountability, or conflict. By offering a non-apology, they can quickly diffuse the situation without having to confront their own actions or make changes. While this may protect their ego in the short term, it damages trust and connection in the relationship over time. When you encounter this phrase, it's essential to recognize its limitations and decide how to respond. If the relationship is important to you, consider addressing the deflection directly. You might say, "I appreciate that you're acknowledging my feelings, but I'd like us to focus on the behavior that led to this situation." This approach redirects the conversation toward accountability while giving the other person an opportunity to engage more meaningfully. It's also worth evaluating the context in which this phrase is used. Is it part of a broader pattern of deflection and avoidance? Or is it a one-off instance where the person might not realize the impact of their words? In some cases, people use this phrase because they don't know how to apologize effectively or are unaware of how dismissive it sounds. Offering them a chance to clarify their intentions can sometimes lead to a more productive conversation. If the person consistently relies on "I'm sorry you feel that way" to evade accountability, it may be a sign of deeper issues in the relationship. Healthy relationships, whether personal or professional, are built on mutual respect, understanding, and a willingness to take responsibility for one's actions. If someone is unwilling to acknowledge their role in causing harm or consistently invalidates your feelings, it may be necessary to set boundaries or reconsider the relationship. A genuine apology requires more than just words. It demands accountability, empathy, and a commitment to change. "I'm sorry you feel that way" falls short of these standards, offering a hollow acknowledgement that does little to repair the harm caused. While it's natural to want validation and resolution, it's important to recognize when an apology is insincere or insufficient. Your feelings are valid, and you deserve to be in relationships where they are respected and addressed, not minimized or dismissed. When someone says, "This is just how I am," it often carries a tone of finality, as though their behavior, attitude, or habits are set in stone. At first glance, it might appear as an honest declaration of self-awareness or a defense of individuality. However, beneath this surface lies a refusal to grow or change, an attempt to mask irresponsibility as authenticity. Rather than being a statement of self-acceptance, it often becomes a convenient excuse for avoiding accountability or effort. At its core, this phrase shuts down dialogue. It implies that any attempt to address an issue or request a change is futile because the person believes their traits or actions are immutable. This can leave others feeling frustrated and helpless, as though their concerns are unworthy of consideration. It creates a barrier to meaningful communication as it dismisses the possibility of compromise or mutual understanding. In relationships, whether personal or professional, this unwillingness to engage or adapt can erode trust and connection. The notion of "this is just how I am" also contradicts the fundamental human capacity for growth. People are inherently dynamic, capable of learning, evolving, and adapting throughout their lives. To claim otherwise is not a testament to authenticity, but rather a rejection of responsibility. For instance, if someone exhibits hurtful behavior and justifies it with this phrase, they are essentially refusing to acknowledge how their actions impact others. Instead of addressing the harm or seeking improvement, they position themselves as victims of their own nature, unable or unwilling to change. Authenticity, in its true sense, is about being honest with oneself and others, but it does not absolve someone of the need to grow. Genuine authenticity recognizes the interplay between staying true to one's core values and being open to self-improvement. It embraces accountability, not as a threat to individuality, but as an opportunity to strengthen relationships and align actions with intentions. When "this is just how I am" is used as a shield, it distorts the meaning of authenticity, turning it into an excuse for stagnation. Another issue with this phrase is its dismissive tone. It often conveys a sense of resignation, as though the person has given up on trying to be better. It signals that they are unwilling to put in the effort required to address challenges, whether those challenges pertain to their behavior, communication style, or habits. This can be particularly damaging in relationships where mutual effort and adaptability are key. When one person clings to "this is just how I am," they place the burden of adjustment entirely on the other party, creating an imbalance that can lead to resentment. This phrase can be a form of deflection. By claiming their behavior is unchangeable, the person avoids confronting uncomfortable truths about themselves. It becomes easier to say "this is just how I am" than to face the vulnerability required for growth. Change often requires introspection, effort, and a willingness to step outside one's comfort zone, all of which can be daunting. However, avoiding this process only perpetuates the very issues that led to the conflict in the first place. If you find yourself on the receiving end of this phrase, it's important to approach the situation thoughtfully. Begin by recognizing the difference between genuine self-expression and avoidance of responsibility. Sometimes, people use this phrase because they genuinely struggle to see a path forward or lack the tools for self-improvement. In these cases, offering support or suggesting ways to address the issue together can be helpful. However, if the phrase is used repeatedly to shut down conversations or evade accountability, it may be necessary to set boundaries. For those who catch themselves saying "this is just how I am," it's worth pausing to reflect. Ask yourself, is this truly about embracing your authentic self, or is it a way to avoid discomfort or effort? Consider the impact your words and actions have on those around you. Authenticity does not mean refusing to grow. It means being honest about where you are, while remaining open to who you can become. The statement "this is just how I am" can be transformed into something far more empowering when approached with self-awareness and humility. Instead of using it to deflect or excuse, use it as a starting point for exploration. "This is how I am right now, but I'm willing to work on it." Growth is not about abandoning who you are. It's about becoming the best version of yourself while honoring your core values. By rejecting stagnation and embracing the journey of self-improvement, you can build stronger, more meaningful connections with others and create a life aligned with your true potential. In life, the words people choose often reveal their intentions and the dynamics they bring into relationships. Phrases like "you're too sensitive," "you're lucky to have me," "no one else will put up with you," "you're overthinking it," "I'm sorry you feel that way," and "this is just how I am," are not just dismissive statements. They are subtle tools that can undermine your sense of self-worth, erode your confidence, and trap you in unhealthy dynamics. Recognizing these phrases for what they truly are means to deflect, manipulate, or evade accountability is crucial for your emotional well-being and personal growth. Leaving silently when confronted with such tactics is not a sign of weakness, but an act of self-respect. It is a powerful decision to protect your peace, prioritize your growth, and create space for relationships that are built on mutual respect, understanding, and genuine connection. You deserve to be in environments where your voice is valued, your feelings are honored, and your worth is never in question. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on these insights. Remember, setting boundaries and walking away when necessary are acts of courage and self-love. Stay true to yourself and never settle for anything less than the respect and kindness you deserve. Thank you. Mate.
There is a secret to being the luckiest person in the world, and it begins within you. Luck, as many perceive it, is not a random twist of fate or an elusive gift reserved for the fortunate few. It is a law unseen, yet steadfast, a force you can wield by understanding its principles. The first step to creating a life filled with luck is to shift your mindset. Imagine yourself as someone who is perpetually lucky. Close your eyes and picture a version of you where opportunities fall effortlessly into place, where challenges resolve themselves, and where abundance flows unceasingly. This act of imagination is not fantasy, it is the foundation of your reality. You see, the world reflects the beliefs you hold within. If you see yourself as unlucky, life will confirm it. But if you believe without doubt that luck is yours, life will bow to your certainty. Release the idea that luck is chance. It is not. What seems like coincidence is the precise unfolding of your inner state. Your thoughts and emotions act like magnets, pulling experiences into your world. Are you dwelling on scarcity or abundance? On struggle or ease? Your answer determines your luck. Now, let me tell you something profound. Act as though you are already lucky. Walk with the assurance that everything you touch turns to gold. Smile as though the world conspires for your happiness. Behave as though every door you knock on opens wide. This is not arrogance, it is alignment with your higher self, the self that knows you are worthy of every blessing. Gratitude, my friends, is the multiplier of fortune. When you focus on what you have with a thankful heart, the universe responds by giving you more to be grateful for. Every morning before you rise and every night before you rest, whisper thanks for the blessings in your life. And don't just thank for the past or present, thank for the future, as if it has already arrived. Gratitude is the language of creation. Persist. Persist in the feeling of being lucky, even when outer circumstances try to sway you. Your unwavering belief, your refusal to let go of the conviction that you are favored, will bend reality to your will. The unseen forces that govern this universe respond to persistence, not doubt. Luck is not something you chase, it is something you embody. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you are the luckiest person in the world, life will confirm it. Step boldly into this truth and watch as fortune finds you at every turn. Every experience you encounter, every turn your life takes, is crafted by the unseen hands of your beliefs and expectations. To become the luckiest person in the world, you must begin with an unshakable mindset of certainty. Certainty is the foundation upon which luck is built, for what you hold as true within your mind must eventually materialize in the external world. This is not a whimsical idea, but a profound truth woven into the fabric of existence. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a master builder and every thought is a brick. The structures you erect with these bricks become the reality you inhabit. If your thoughts are scattered with doubt, fear, or hesitation, the foundation of your life becomes unstable. But when your thoughts align with certainty, when you fully expect good fortune, success, and ease, your life becomes a reflection of those expectations. Certainty creates clarity, and clarity creates manifestation. Certainty is not a passive state, it is an active choice, a deliberate decision to trust in your ability to shape your reality. When you embrace this mindset, you step into a realm where you no longer react to the world but create it. Think of those moments in life when you were absolutely sure of an outcome, and it unfolded just as you envisioned. That is the power of certainty in action. It is not magic, it is alignment. It is the universe responding to the clarity of your intention. To cultivate this mindset, you must first examine your current beliefs. Are they supportive of the life you desire, or do they contradict your goals? Many people unknowingly sabotage themselves by entertaining beliefs that are rooted in limitation or fear. They hope for luck but secretly doubt its arrival. Certainty cannot coexist with such doubt. To embrace the mindset of certainty, you must consciously replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. This requires a commitment to inner transformation, to persistently feeding your mind with thoughts of abundance, success, and infinite possibilities. Certainty also requires you to let go of external validation. The world often mirrors back uncertainty and fear, but you must not be swayed by appearances. Luck begins within, it is not dictated by circumstances or the opinions of others. When you anchor yourself in the belief that you are the architect of your experiences, you become immune to external chaos. Your inner conviction becomes the compass that guides you, regardless of what unfolds around you. This mindset of certainty also invites you to act as if your desires are already fulfilled. When you believe in the inevitability of your success, your actions naturally align with that belief. You carry yourself with confidence, make choices from a place of empowerment, and radiate an energy that attracts favorable circumstances. This is not wishful thinking, it is the embodiment of a truth you have claimed for yourself. When you embrace the truth that you are the creator of your reality, you unlock the door to a life of boundless luck. The universe responds not to half-hearted hopes but to unwavering certainty. Declare your desires boldly, trust in their fulfillment, and watch as the world rises to meet your expectations. Imagination is the most powerful tool you possess, and it is the gateway to every fortune you desire. It is not a fleeting daydream or a mere mental escape, it is the creative force through which all reality is shaped. Everything you see, touch, and experience began as an idea, a vision in someone's mind before it was brought into existence. This same principle applies to your life. What you vividly imagine and believe becomes the seed from which your reality grows. To harness the power of imagination, you must first understand its creative potential. Your mind operates as a garden, fertile and ready to nurture whatever seeds you plant. Each image, thought, and feeling you hold in your imagination is a seed. When you vividly imagine yourself as the luckiest person, you are not simply entertaining a wishful thought, you are planting the seed of a new reality. But for this seed to grow, it must be nurtured with belief and persistence. When you close your eyes and vividly picture yourself as someone who attracts opportunities effortlessly, who walks through life with confidence and ease, you are activating a process that sets unseen forces in motion. The world around you begins to shift, responding to the clarity and intensity of your inner vision. This is not coincidence, it is the law of creation at work. What you see in your mind becomes a blueprint that the universe follows to arrange the details of your life. Imagination does not merely influence your external circumstances, it transforms you from within. When you repeatedly envision yourself as fortunate and favored, you start to embody that identity. Your actions become aligned with your vision, your energy changes, and you radiate confidence and optimism. This shift in your inner state naturally draws opportunities, resources, and people who resonate with the reality you are creating. Luck, then, is not something that happens to you, it is something you create from within through the power of imagination. For imagination to work as the key to fortune, it must be vivid and sustained. Casual thoughts and fleeting desires are not enough. You must immerse yourself in your vision, as though it were already true. See the details clearly. Feel the emotions of living in that reality. Experience the joy, gratitude, and excitement of being the luckiest person in the world. The more real your imagined experience feels, the stronger its pull on reality becomes. Doubt is the only obstacle to this process. If you allow conflicting thoughts to creep in, thoughts of unworthiness or disbelief, you weaken the power of your imagination. Instead, guard your vision fiercely. Let it become your refuge, a sacred space where your dreams are nurtured and your fortune is shaped. When you fully embrace the power of imagination, the world will rearrange itself to reflect your vision. It may not happen instantly, but it will happen with unwavering certainty. Trust in this process, for your imagination holds the key to every fortune you desire. You are the creator of your reality, and your vision is the seed from which all abundance flows. The idea of chance often dominates how people perceive their lives, leading them to believe that luck is a random stroke of fortune, an unpredictable blessing bestowed upon a select few. But this belief is a misunderstanding of how life truly operates. Luck is not random, it is the result of focused intention and the alignment of your inner world with your outer experiences. To transform your life and truly become lucky, you must detach from the notion of chance and embrace the truth that nothing occurs by accident. Every event in your life is a reflection of the beliefs you hold and the energy you project. Your thoughts, emotions, and expectations are like invisible architects, shaping the circumstances and encounters you experience. When you internalize this understanding, you realize that the idea of chance is an illusion. What appears to be random is, in fact, a perfectly orchestrated response to the intentions you have set, whether consciously or unconsciously. When you focus your intention, you are giving clear direction to the creative forces that govern your reality. Imagine sending out a signal into the vastness of the universe, a precise request for what you desire. This focused intention acts as a magnet, drawing to you the people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your inner state. Luck, then, is not about waiting for something fortuitous to happen, but about cultivating the right mindset and emotional state to attract the outcomes you desire. Detaching from the idea of chance requires trust. You must trust that every event, no matter how insignificant or challenging it may seem, is part of a greater design that is perfectly aligned with your inner beliefs and desires. This trust liberates you from anxiety and fear. Instead of worrying about external factors you cannot control, you focus on refining your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, and intentions. When your inner world is in harmony, your outer world will naturally reflect that harmony. This shift in perspective also empowers you to take responsibility for your life. Instead of attributing your circumstances to luck, fate, or coincidence, you recognize your role as the creator of your experiences. This responsibility is not a burden, it is a gift. It means that you have the power to change your reality by changing your focus and intention. If you desire greater fortune, you need only align your thoughts and emotions with the feeling of being lucky, and life will respond accordingly. Releasing the concept of chance also allows you to approach challenges with a new perspective. Instead of seeing setbacks as random misfortunes, you recognize them as opportunities for growth, lessons designed to refine your focus and strengthen your resolve. Every event, whether joyous or difficult, serves a purpose in the unfolding of your desires. When you detach from the idea of chance, you step into the role of the deliberate creator of your life. You trust that the universe is not chaotic but responsive, and you align your intentions with the outcomes you wish to see. This is how luck is cultivated, not by waiting for it to happen, but by consciously creating it through focused intention and unwavering trust in the process. The essence of transforming your life begins with acting as if you are already the person you aspire to be. When it comes to luck, this principle holds immense power. To be lucky, you must first embody the mindset, confidence, and energy of someone who already knows that life conspires in their favor. This shift in perspective isn't about pretending or faking, it is about aligning your actions and feelings with the reality you desire so completely that the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Imagine the way a truly lucky person walks through life. They exude a quiet confidence, an unshakable belief that things will work out for the best. They don't chase opportunities in desperation because they know opportunities naturally gravitate toward them. They radiate joy, ease, and gratitude, creating an aura that attracts positive circumstances and people. This is not arrogance but a deep trust in the flow of life, a trust you can cultivate by acting as if you too are already lucky. The key is to align your actions with the outcome you wish to experience. If you desire to be lucky, your actions must mirror the behavior of someone who already feels fortunate. Begin by shifting your posture and demeanor. Stand tall, smile more often, and carry yourself with an air of expectancy. These simple changes send a powerful signal to your subconscious mind, reinforcing the belief that you are a magnet for good fortune. Over time, this belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Acting as if you are lucky also means embracing gratitude as a daily practice. Gratitude is the language of abundance, and when you express it, you affirm that you are already in possession of good fortune. Start each day by acknowledging the blessings in your life, no matter how small they may seem. As you cultivate a grateful heart, you create a fertile environment for even greater blessings to flow into your experience. Your actions should also reflect trust in the process of life. Avoid reacting to setbacks with frustration or doubt. Instead, view them as temporary detours that are ultimately leading you to a better outcome. When you maintain your faith and continue to act in alignment with your desired reality, you demonstrate to yourself and the universe that you are unwavering in your belief. This unwavering confidence amplifies your magnetic energy, drawing more luck and opportunities to you. In your interactions with others, act as if you are already in possession of all the success and joy you desire. Share your positive energy generously, support others in their pursuits, and speak words that uplift and inspire. When you embody the characteristics of someone who feels fortunate, you naturally attract people and circumstances that enhance your life. Acting as if you are already lucky is not about forcing outcomes or pretending to be someone you're not. It is about stepping into the reality you wish to create with such conviction that it becomes inevitable. When you carry yourself with the confidence and joy of someone who knows the universe is always working in their favor, you align with the flow of life, and luck becomes your constant companion. Gratitude is a transformative force that holds the power to multiply your fortune beyond measure. It is not merely a polite acknowledgement of the good in your life, it is a profound and active state of being that aligns your inner world with abundance. When you cultivate gratitude, you unlock a magnetic energy that draws even greater blessings and experiences into your life, reinforcing the cycle of abundance. At its core, gratitude is the recognition of the gifts already present in your life. It shifts your focus away from lack and limitation, redirecting your attention to the wealth and beauty that surround you. This shift in perspective is vital because what you focus on expands. When you choose to dwell on what you are grateful for, you amplify those aspects of your life. Gratitude is like shining a light on abundance, causing it to grow and flourish in ways that often seem miraculous. Gratitude is not limited to what you can see and touch in the present moment. It is also a powerful tool for manifesting your desires. When you express gratitude for what is yet to come, you create a mental and emotional state of expectancy. This expectancy is a form of faith, and knowing that what you desire is already on its way to you. The universe responds to this faith by aligning circumstances and events to match your vibration. Gratitude, in this sense, becomes the bridge between your current reality and the one you wish to create. To cultivate gratitude effectively, you must move beyond intellectual acknowledgement and truly feel it in your heart. Gratitude is most powerful when it is deeply felt, when it resonates through your entire being. Take time each day to reflect on the things you appreciate, both big and small. Write them down, speak them aloud, or simply hold them in your mind with a sense of wonder and joy. Let your gratitude permeate every aspect of your day, transforming even ordinary moments into sacred experiences. Gratitude also shifts your relationships and interactions with others. When you express genuine appreciation for the people in your life, you strengthen your connections and invite more meaningful interactions. People are drawn to those who radiate positivity and acknowledgement, and your gratitude can inspire others to see the abundance in their own lives. This ripple effect creates a network of goodwill and generosity, multiplying the blessings you give and receive. Even in challenging times, gratitude is a beacon that guides you back to abundance. It helps you find the silver linings in difficulties, transforming obstacles into opportunities for growth. Gratitude allows you to trust that everything, even the hardships, is working in your favor. This trust fosters resilience and keeps you aligned with the flow of life, ensuring that fortune continues to unfold for you. Gratitude is not just an act but a way of life. It invites you to see the world through the lens of abundance, to recognize that you are already surrounded by wealth in countless forms. As you cultivate gratitude for what you have and what is yet to come, you open the door for greater blessings to flow effortlessly into your experience. Gratitude multiplies your fortune, turning your life into a continuous celebration of abundance. Luck is not a fleeting experience or the result of random events. It is a state of being that arises from the persistence of an inner feeling. To truly become lucky, you must cultivate and sustain the conviction that you are divinely favored, no matter what your external circumstances may suggest. This unwavering belief is the foundation upon which all manifestations are built. When you persist in the feeling of luck, you transform the unseen potential within you into visible reality. The feeling of luck is a deep sense of assurance that life is always working in your favor. It is the inner knowing that every event, every encounter, and every circumstance is conspiring to bring about the best possible outcomes for you. This belief is not dependent on current conditions. In fact, it thrives in the face of adversity. When you maintain this conviction, even when things seem uncertain, you demonstrate the kind of faith that has the power to reshape your reality. The persistence of this feeling requires discipline and focus. It means refusing to allow doubt or fear to take root in your mind. Instead of reacting to external challenges with worry or frustration, you remind yourself of the truth that your inner state creates your outer experience. Even when the evidence of luck is not immediately visible, you hold firm to the belief that it is on its way. This persistence is not blind optimism, it is a deliberate choice to align with the reality you wish to create. The feeling of luck must become a habitual state of mind. To achieve this, immerse yourself in thoughts and emotions that reinforce your belief in your own fortune. Visualize yourself as a person for whom life unfolds effortlessly, where opportunities flow to you without struggle, and everything you desire comes with ease. Let this vision evoke a sense of joy, gratitude, and confidence. By repeatedly immersing yourself in this feeling, you condition your mind to accept it as your reality. One of the most powerful ways to persist in the feeling of luck is to act as if you are already experiencing it. Carry yourself with the confidence of someone who knows they are divinely favored. Speak and move with the assurance that the best is always happening for you. This alignment between your actions and your beliefs strengthens your inner conviction, making it easier to maintain even when challenges arise. Persistence in the feeling of luck is not about denying the difficulties of life. It is about refusing to let those difficulties define your reality. Instead of focusing on what appears to be missing or going wrong, you focus on the abundance and opportunities that are already present or on their way. This shift in focus transforms your energy, making you a magnet for the very experiences you desire. The persistence of this feeling is what bridges the gap between the invisible and the visible. It transforms the intangible belief in your own luck into tangible results in your life. By holding steadfast to the inner conviction that you are divinely favored, you align yourself with the flow of life's abundance. This alignment ensures that luck becomes not just an occasional occurrence, but a constant and unshakable aspect of your existence. In conclusion, luck is not something that happens to you, it is something you create from within. It begins with the certainty of your mindset, the power of your imagination, and the unwavering belief that life is working in your favor. By detaching from the idea of chance and embodying gratitude, you align yourself with the flow of abundance. When you act as if you are already lucky and persist in the feeling of being divinely favored, you transform your inner world, and the external world must reflect that transformation. The key is to consistently nurture these principles in your daily life. Trust in your power, visualize your ideal outcomes, and embrace gratitude for what you have and what is yet to come. Hold on to the unwavering conviction that luck is your birthright, and let your actions, thoughts, and feelings reflect that truth. Thank you for allowing me to guide you on this journey toward unlocking your infinite potential and stepping into a life of divine favor. May your path be filled with abundance, joy, and effortless blessings.
As we stand on the brink of a new year, 2025 offers us something powerful, the chance to rewrite our stories. A comeback is not just about bouncing back, it's about coming back stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. But to make this comeback real, it requires more than motivation. It demands intentional planning, relentless execution, and an unshakable belief in what's possible. The first step in planning your comeback is understanding your why. Why do you want this change? Why now? Without a clear purpose, your efforts will lack direction. Your why becomes the North Star that guides you when the path feels unclear. So take time to dig deep. Ask yourself what's at stake if you don't make this comeback. What legacy are you building? Next, let's talk about setbacks. They're inevitable, but they don't define you. Reflect on the challenges you face, not to feel defeated, but to uncover the lessons they hold. Setbacks are opportunities to innovate, grow, and adapt. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me, ask, what can I learn from this? Now, big goals can be intimidating, especially when you're starting over. That's why you must break them into smaller, achievable milestones. Each small win brings you closer to your ultimate vision and reminds you that progress is happening, even when it feels slow. Celebrate these wins. They matter. But a comeback is not a solo act. No one achieves greatness alone. Build a support system of people who believe in your vision, but are also honest enough to challenge you. Seek mentors, collaborators, and friends who push you to grow. And remember, part of this support system is also about letting go of toxic relationships that drain your energy or undermine your confidence. Resilience is your backbone in this journey. It's built not in grand gestures, but in daily discipline. Commit to habits that align with your goals, whether it's waking up early, investing in self-improvement, or taking care of your health. Resilience is the quiet strength that gets you through when the world doubts you. Visualize your success. Close your eyes and imagine yourself thriving in 2025. See the details, the sights, sounds, and emotions of that future version of yourself. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's mental rehearsal. When you see it clearly, you believe it deeply, and belief turns into action. 2025 is a blank slate waiting for your story. It's your time to rise, to plan a comeback so strong that even you are amazed by what you've accomplished. So, as you leave today, I want you to remember this: the power to change your life is already within you. It's not about waiting for the right time, it's about becoming the right person for the time you're given. This is your year. Plan it with purpose. Execute it with passion. And claim the success that's already yours. Every great comeback starts with a compelling reason, a deeply rooted why that acts as the foundation for all your efforts. Without a clear purpose, even the most well-intentioned plans can falter under pressure. Your why is not just a motivator, it's the driving force that sustains you when the road becomes difficult and the challenges seem insurmountable. It's the difference between fleeting enthusiasm and unwavering commitment. Defining your why begins with introspection. Ask yourself, why does this comeback matter to me? What is at stake if I fail to act? These questions may seem simple, but their answers hold profound truths about your desires, values, and aspirations. Your why is deeply personal, reflecting your inner motivations rather than external pressures or expectations. It's not about impressing others or conforming to societal norms. It's about aligning your actions with your authentic self and long-term vision. Imagine your life a year from now. What would success look like? Who would you become? The answers to these questions help clarify your purpose. When your goals resonate with your core values, they naturally become more meaningful. For instance, if your comeback is rooted in providing a better life for your family, the emotional connection to that goal will keep you focused. If your purpose is tied to proving to yourself that you are capable of achieving greatness, that inner drive will fuel your determination. Whatever your why, it should ignite a sense of urgency and passion that propels you forward. Your purpose also serves as a compass, guiding your decisions and keeping you on track. When you're clear about why you're pursuing a comeback, distractions lose their power over you. Opportunities that don't align with your vision become easier to decline, and the fear of failure diminishes because your focus is fixed on what truly matters. A powerful why simplifies complexity, allowing you to prioritize your efforts effectively. Your why is the key to resilience. Setbacks and challenges are inevitable in any comeback journey. However, when you have a purpose that transcends the obstacles, you gain the strength to persevere. Consider the stories of people who have overcome extraordinary odds. They all share a common thread, a reason so compelling that giving up was never an option. Whether it was to prove their worth, create a legacy, or fulfill a dream, their why became their anchor in turbulent times. Your why also connects your present actions to your future self. It bridges the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. This sense of alignment creates a powerful momentum. When you wake up each day knowing that your efforts are contributing to something greater, your energy and focus increase. You begin to see each challenge as an opportunity to grow rather than a barrier to your progress. Defining your why is not a one-time exercise, it's an evolving process. As you grow and your circumstances change, your purpose may shift. This adaptability is a strength, not a weakness. Continuously revisiting and refining your why ensures that it remains relevant and inspiring. It also helps you stay connected to your goals on a deeper level. reminding you why you started in the first place. Your comeback in 2025 is an opportunity to transform your life, but transformation requires intention. Take the time to uncover your why and let it guide your journey. When your actions are driven by a clear purpose, every step you take becomes meaningful. Your why is the foundation of your comeback, the light that guides you through uncertainty, and the fuel that keeps you moving forward. Define it with clarity, hold on to it with conviction, and watch as it propels you toward the life you envision. Setbacks are an inevitable part of life, but they are not the end of the story. While they may feel like barriers in the moment, they often carry valuable lessons that can pave the way for growth and future success. The key to moving forward is learning from these setbacks rather than dwelling on them. It's about shifting your perspective, transforming obstacles into opportunities, and using each experience as a stepping stone toward your ultimate goals. When faced with a setback, the first step is reflection. Take a moment to assess the situation with honesty and objectivity. What happened? What decisions or circumstances led to this outcome? This process isn't about assigning blame to yourself or others, but rather about uncovering the underlying factors that contributed to the setback. Perhaps it was a lack of preparation, an overestimation of resources, or even external circumstances beyond your control. By identifying these factors, you gain clarity about what needs to change moving forward. Reflection also allows you to separate the setback from your identity. Too often people internalize failure, seeing it as a reflection of their worth or abilities. This mindset can lead to feelings of shame, self-doubt, or even paralysis. However, setbacks are not personal failures, they are simply events. They don't define who you are, they are merely opportunities for learning and growth. By shifting your focus from what went wrong to what you can learn, you reclaim your power and take control of your narrative. Once you've reflected on the setback, the next step is to extract the lessons it offers. Every setback, no matter how challenging, holds insights that can inform your future actions. Perhaps it revealed a gap in your knowledge or skills that you can now address. Maybe it highlighted the importance of better communication, planning, or adaptability. Each lesson is a building block that strengthens your foundation and prepares you for the road ahead. Learning from setbacks also requires a willingness to adapt. If you continue to approach challenges in the same way, you're likely to encounter the same results. Growth demands that you embrace change and be open to new strategies, perspectives, and approaches. This adaptability is a hallmark of resilience. It's what enables you to pivot when things don't go as planned and to find new paths to success. It's equally important to let go of the emotional weight that setbacks can carry. Dwelling on what went wrong, replaying mistakes, regretting missed opportunities, or harboring resentment only serves to anchor you in the past. While it's natural to feel disappointed or frustrated, holding on to these emotions can cloud your judgment and drain your energy. Instead, focus on what you can control, your response and your next steps. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring the setback, it means acknowledging it, learning from it, and choosing to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. Another vital aspect of overcoming setbacks is cultivating a growth mindset. This means viewing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than as fixed limitations. When you approach setbacks with curiosity and openness, you begin to see them as integral parts of your journey. They become catalysts for innovation, problem solving, and self-discovery. A growth mindset transforms failure from something to be feared into something to be embraced. That setbacks are temporary. In the grand scheme of your life, they are just moments that can shape you but don't define you. Keep your focus on the bigger picture and don't lose sight of your long-term vision. Each setback is a single chapter, not the entire story. By maintaining perspective, you can stay motivated and resilient even in the face of adversity. Setbacks are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. They challenge you to grow, adapt, and persevere. By learning from them rather than dwelling on them, you transform moments of difficulty into opportunities for greatness. Use them to propel yourself forward, and you'll find that each setback brings you closer to the success you're striving for. Big goals are inspiring. They represent the dreams we aspire to achieve and the life we envision for ourselves. However, as exciting as they are, big goals can often feel overwhelming, distant, and unattainable. The secret to turning them into reality lies in breaking them down into achievable milestones, small, actionable steps that provide clarity, focus, and a sense of progress. This approach not only makes your grand vision manageable, but also keeps you motivated by celebrating every step forward. The process begins by clearly defining your overarching goal. What is it that you want to accomplish? Once you've identified the big picture, ask yourself what smaller steps or actions can lead you there. These steps become your milestones. Think of them as checkpoints along your journey, each one a critical piece of the puzzle that moves you closer to your ultimate destination. For example, if your goal is to start a successful business, milestones might include conducting market research, creating a business plan, building a prototype, or securing your first customer. Breaking down big goals into smaller milestones serves multiple purposes. First, it reduces overwhelm. When you look at a grand vision as one massive undertaking, it's easy to feel paralyzed by its enormity. However, when you focus on just one small step at a time, the path becomes clear and manageable. Completing each milestone gives you a sense of accomplishment, reinforcing the belief that your goal is within reach. Second, milestones provide a roadmap. Without them, it's easy to lose direction or become distracted by less important tasks. Milestones help you prioritize, ensuring that your efforts are aligned with your ultimate vision. They act as a guide, helping you navigate challenges and stay on track, even when obstacles arise. Another benefit of setting achievable milestones is that they allow you to measure progress. One of the most discouraging aspects of pursuing big goals is the feeling that you're not making headway. By establishing milestones, you create tangible markers of success that you can see and celebrate. Progress, no matter how small, is a powerful motivator. Each milestone achieved becomes evidence that you are moving forward, building confidence and momentum. Celebrating milestones is an essential part of this process. When you acknowledge and reward yourself for achieving a milestone, you reinforce positive behavior and create a sense of joy and accomplishment. These celebrations don't have to be extravagant. They can be as simple as taking a moment to reflect on your progress, treating yourself to something you enjoy, or sharing your success with someone who supports you. The key is to recognize the effort you've put in and to honor the progress you've made. Setting achievable milestones also cultivates discipline and consistency. Big goals often require sustained effort over time, and it's easy to lose motivation when the results seem far off. Milestones keep you engaged by providing regular wins that maintain your momentum. They help you develop the habits and routines necessary for long-term success, turning your vision into a series of daily actions. When setting milestones, it's important to make them specific, measurable, and time-bound. Vague milestones, such as work on my project, lack clarity and direction. Instead, be precise, complete the first draft of my proposal by the end of the month. This specificity ensures that you know exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it, making it easier to take action and track your progress. Flexibility is also crucial. As you work toward your goals, you may encounter unforeseen challenges or opportunities that require you to adjust your milestones. This is a natural part of the process. Being adaptable ensures that your milestones remain relevant and achievable, even as circumstances change. Setting achievable milestones is about creating a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's about turning dreams into actionable steps and celebrating the journey as much as the destination. Each milestone achieved is proof that you are capable of growth and progress, no matter how big the goal may seem. By focusing on these small victories, you build the momentum and confidence needed to reach your grand vision. Take one step at a time and watch as your milestones guide you to success. A successful comeback requires more than determination and effort. It thrives on connection. No matter how strong or independent you may be, the truth is that no journey toward transformation is ever a solo endeavor. The presence of a strong support system, people who challenge, inspire, and uplift you, is an invaluable asset in your pursuit of success. Surrounding yourself with the right individuals can make the difference between stumbling through challenges alone and thriving with encouragement and guidance. The foundation of a support system lies in choosing people who genuinely believe in your vision and have your best interests at heart. These are the individuals who not only celebrate your victories, but also stand by you during setbacks. They hold you accountable when you falter and encourage you to rise when you doubt yourself. Their unwavering belief in your potential reinforces your own faith in what you can achieve, even during moments when self-belief wavers. It's important to recognize that a support system is not built by accident. It requires intentional effort to cultivate relationships with people who add value to your journey. Start by identifying individuals in your life who inspire you, whether they are friends, family members, mentors, or colleagues. These are the people whose perspectives challenge you to think differently, whose advice helps you see clearly, and whose actions motivate you to strive for more. Seek out their guidance, share your goals with them, and let them know how much their support means to you. Diversity within your support system is also crucial. Surround yourself with people who bring different strengths and perspectives to the table. For instance, you might have a mentor who provides wisdom and strategic insight, a friend who offers emotional support, and a peer who shares similar challenges and can relate to your struggles. This variety ensures that you have access to a wide range of resources, advice, and encouragement when you need it most. The power of a support system lies not only in what others give to you, but also in what you give back. Relationships are built on mutual respect and trust. To cultivate a thriving support network, you must be willing to invest in others just as they invest in you. Be present for their successes and challenges, offer your encouragement and insights, and show genuine care for their well-being. This reciprocity strengthens bonds and fosters a sense of community that uplifts everyone involved. While a support system is a source of encouragement, it is also a space for constructive challenge. Surrounding yourself with yes people, those who only agree with you without offering honest feedback, may feel comforting but does little to foster growth. True supporters challenge you to think critically, question assumptions, and push beyond your comfort zone. They hold you accountable to your goals, ensuring that you remain focused and committed to your journey. Sometimes, building a support system also involves letting go of toxic relationships. If certain individuals in your life consistently undermine your confidence, doubt your abilities, or discourage your aspirations, it may be necessary to distance yourself from them. Your energy and focus are precious, and surrounding yourself with negativity can sap your motivation and hinder your progress. Choose relationships that nurture your growth rather than drain it. In today's interconnected world, your support system doesn't have to be limited to those you know personally. Online communities, support groups, and professional networks can be powerful sources of connection and inspiration. Engaging with like-minded individuals who share your goals or challenges can provide fresh perspectives, practical advice, and a sense of belonging. These virtual connections can complement your in-person relationships, adding another layer of support to your journey. A support system is more than just a safety net, it's a catalyst for growth. It reminds you that you are not alone, even when the road feels tough. The collective strength of those who believe in you empowers you to take risks, overcome obstacles, and keep moving forward. Their presence adds depth and meaning to your journey, making every victory sweeter because it's shared. Your comeback is your responsibility, but it doesn't have to be carried out in isolation. By surrounding yourself with people who challenge and inspire you, you create an environment where success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Together, you can navigate challenges, celebrate milestones, and build a future that reflects the best version of yourself. Resilience is the cornerstone of any successful comeback. It is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and persist in the face of challenges. However, resilience is not an innate quality, it is a skill that can be developed and strengthened through discipline. By cultivating daily habits and embracing a mindset of growth, you can build the inner fortitude necessary to navigate the highs and lows of your journey. Discipline is the foundation of resilience. It is the commitment to show up for yourself every day, regardless of circumstances. Developing discipline begins with consistency. Establish a routine that aligns with your goals, and stick to it even when motivation wanes. This routine becomes a stabilizing force, providing structure and predictability amid the uncertainties of life. Whether it involves waking up early to plan your day, dedicating time to personal growth, or committing to a fitness regimen, these consistent actions reinforce your ability to persevere. Daily habits are the building blocks of discipline and, consequently, resilience. Start small and focus on habits that challenge you to grow. For instance, practicing mindfulness can help you remain present and calm during stressful situations, while journaling can provide an outlet for reflection and self-awareness. Exercise is another powerful habit that not only strengthens your body but also boosts your mental resilience by releasing endorphins and reducing stress. Each habit you cultivate is a step toward becoming more adaptable and resourceful. Setting clear boundaries is another discipline that fosters resilience. In a world filled with distractions, it is easy to lose focus and waste energy on tasks that don't contribute to your goals. Learn to say no to activities and commitments that detract from your purpose. Protecting your time and energy allows you to prioritize what truly matters and ensures that you have the mental and emotional bandwidth to face challenges head-on. Resilience also requires mental toughness, which can be cultivated through intentional effort. One effective practice is reframing your perspective on challenges. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, see them as opportunities to learn and grow. This shift in mindset helps you approach difficulties with curiosity and a problem-solving attitude, rather than despair or frustration. When you train yourself to find the silver lining in every situation, you build the mental resilience to navigate adversity with grace. Accountability plays a vital role in developing discipline and resilience. Share your goals with someone you trust, whether it's a mentor, friend, or accountability partner. Regular check-ins and honest feedback can keep you on track and motivated. Knowing that someone else is invested in your progress can inspire you to push through obstacles, even on tough days. Resilience is also strengthened by embracing discomfort. Growth rarely happens within the confines of your comfort zone. Discipline yourself to take on challenges that stretch your abilities and expose you to new experiences. Whether it's learning a new skill, tackling a difficult project, or stepping into unfamiliar territory, these moments of discomfort build confidence in your ability to adapt and overcome. Over time, you'll find that what once seemed daunting becomes manageable, and your capacity for resilience grows. Rest and recovery are equally important in the pursuit of resilience. Discipline doesn't mean pushing yourself to the point of burnout, it means finding balance. Allow yourself time to recharge both physically and mentally. Adequate sleep, healthy nutrition, and moments of relaxation are not indulgences but necessities for maintaining the energy and clarity needed to stay resilient. A well-rested mind is better equipped to handle stress and make sound decisions. Resilience thrives on purpose. Remind yourself of the why behind your comeback. When you have a clear vision of what you're working toward, it becomes easier to endure hardships and remain disciplined. Your purpose acts as a guiding light, giving you the strength to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Developing resilience through discipline is not a quick fix, it is a lifelong practice. It requires commitment, patience, and a willingness to confront your limitations. But as you build resilience, you also build confidence in your ability to navigate challenges and achieve your goals. With each disciplined action you take, you fortify yourself against the setbacks that will inevitably come, transforming them into stepping stones on your journey to success. Resilience, cultivated through discipline, becomes your greatest ally in making your comeback a reality. Visualization is a powerful tool for achieving success, and its impact cannot be overstated. By vividly imagining your goals and the life you aspire to create, you reinforce your belief in your ability to achieve them. This daily practice not only keeps you motivated, but also trains your mind to recognize and seize opportunities that align with your vision. Seeing yourself thriving in 2025 isn't just about dreaming, it's about programming your mind to turn those dreams into reality. When you visualize success, you engage your mind on a deep subconscious level. The brain doesn't fully distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. By mentally rehearsing your desired outcomes, you create neural pathways that reinforce positive behaviors and build confidence. For instance, if your goal is to excel in your career, visualizing yourself confidently presenting in meetings or leading projects helps you feel more prepared and capable when those situations arise in reality. To make visualization effective, it's crucial to engage all your senses. Don't just see the picture of your future, immerse yourself in it. Imagine the sights, sounds, smells, and emotions associated with your success. If your goal is financial freedom, picture yourself in the environment that represents that freedom. Imagine the texture of the furniture in your dream home, the sound of waves, if you aspire to live near the ocean, or the feeling of satisfaction as you review your accomplishments. The more vivid and detailed your visualization, the more real and attainable it feels. Consistency is key when it comes to visualization. Make it a daily habit, even if only for a few minutes. Morning and evening are particularly powerful times for this practice, as your mind is more receptive to suggestion during these moments of transition. Begin your day by visualizing yourself thriving, and end it by replaying the successes you aim to achieve. This not only sets a positive tone for your day, but also primes your subconscious mind to work toward your goals while you sleep. One effective approach is to pair visualization with affirmations. As you imagine your future, speak words of encouragement to yourself. For example, as you picture yourself thriving in 2025, affirm, "I am capable of achieving my goals," or "I attract success and abundance into my life." These affirmations help combat self-doubt and reinforce a mindset of possibility and determination. Another way to enhance visualization is by creating a vision board. This physical or digital collection of images and words represents your goals and aspirations. Place it somewhere you'll see it often, such as your workspace or bedroom. Each glance at your vision board serves as a reminder of what you're working toward, keeping your goals at the forefront of your mind. Visualization also works hand in hand with action. While imagining your success is inspiring, it's the actions you take that bring those visions to life. Use visualization as a guide to identify the steps needed to achieve your goals. For example, if you see yourself in a new career, Imagine the skills and connections you'll need, then take concrete steps to acquire them. Visualization should be the spark that drives you to take consistent, purposeful action. Overcoming challenges is an inevitable part of any journey, and visualization can help here as well. Visualize yourself successfully navigating obstacles and remaining resilient in the face of adversity. By mentally rehearsing how you'll handle setbacks, you build confidence and reduce fear, making it easier to stay focused and determined when challenges arise. Visualization fosters gratitude, an essential component of success. As you imagine your thriving future, take a moment to express gratitude for the progress you've made so far and the opportunities that lie ahead. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's possible, creating a positive energy that attracts more of what you desire. Seeing yourself thriving in 2025 is more than a mental exercise, it's a commitment to aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your aspirations. Through daily visualization, you train your mind to believe in your success, prepare yourself for opportunities, and stay motivated on your journey. With each moment spent visualizing your future, you bring that future closer to reality. In conclusion, planning your comeback in 2025 is not just about setting goals, it's about transforming your mindset, building resilience, and taking intentional actions toward the life you envision. By starting with a clear purpose, learning from setbacks, breaking goals into achievable milestones, surrounding yourself with a strong support system, cultivating discipline, and visualizing your success daily, you create a powerful foundation for growth and triumph. Each step, no matter how small, moves you closer to the life you desire. Your journey is unique and progress takes time. Celebrate your wins, learn from your challenges, and keep your eyes on the vision you've crafted. You hold the power to shape your future, and with unwavering determination, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself. Here's to a transformative 2025 and the extraordinary comeback you're destined to make.